Hi, friends. My name is Dr. Emlah, and I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. This is Intentional Living with Emlah. And today, I have the honor of having my friend, Erin Crotty, on the show. Erin, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I feel honored. I'm inspired.
Listen, I am honored. This morning I told my son, I told Timchi, I said, guess who I'm having on a podcast? And he said, that's legit.
The highest honor.
I think we have the high school boys, and this is how we met. So I'll have you introduce yourself. Tell our guests who they have the honor and pleasure of having on the Intentional Living podcast today. And our goal for this podcast is always to move from autopilot to aligned, and having a leadership coach and a strategic advisor with us today helps us to move on that journey, and we take those small, consistent steps in the direction of our goals. So we're honored to have you. Tell us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I feel so good to be here.
Yeah.
And we have the endorsement of my teens as well. I told them whose mom I was going to be joining this morning, and I got a similar legit endorsement.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm really glad to be here. And this conversation sprouted from our breakfast that we had together. And since I've never been on a true in-person podcast, I'm just going to pretend we're at breakfast.
We're not going to pretend we're at breakfast because we're recording in the morning. So we're actually going to be breakfast without food.
There you go.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it is a thing.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm happy to do my introduction. My introduction itself links to my journey of intentional living, because I think if you would have asked me to introduce myself 5 or 6 years ago, I think it would have sounded very different. I've been on a journey of really connecting with what is my identity? Is my identity my work? Really, in the 5 or 6 years ago, because I spent so much time in person in one company for 22 years of my life, that would have default come to mind first as I was introducing myself. And so the way I'll introduce myself today is that I'm Erin. I am a parent.
Yes.
I'm a partner. I'm a daughter. And I'm a mentor and an advisor on an aim to live an intentional life. That's definitely my aim. And if I had to name the pillars of that, the ones that are top for me are health and well-being, meaningful relationships, and ideally lasting impact. Those are the 3 memorable things that I use to anchor myself.
Well, Erin, thank you. In introducing yourself, you defined intentional living for me, because you just solidified that pillar of positive social connections, because that is how we met. And the fact that you just parent, partner, daughter, mentor, advisor, that is what we all embody. And you're not taking work and putting it all the way out here, and taking your personal life and putting it all the way out here. And you're living that intentional life from the inside out.
Thank you.
And I was talking to a group of middle schoolers yesterday, and it touched me, because I taught them the statement. I said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I made them repeat after me, and they said, are we in kindergarten? And I said, yes, we always are in kindergarten. And you embody that how we do anything is how we do everything. I feel that from you every time. Tell me I'll take it one step back and ask you, like, when I would have loved to know what your definition or what your introduction of yourself would have been 5 years ago. But as we're here, and I want you to tell me, when I say intentional living, when I told you I was going to start a podcast, and every time, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, it's going to be intentional living with Emlah. So when I say intentional living, what comes to mind?
Well, I remember that we had a bonding moment over that word when we were at breakfast, because it's such a meaningful word to me. And I think for me personally, what it has come to mean is connecting with and building clarity on my own definition of success, and then doing my best to architect my life toward that. To your word earlier of default, I think it's really easy and natural to get in a groove of default because we grow up and we have all sorts of different conditioning around us and a lot of people telling us directly and indirectly what we should be doing, what success looks like. You can't not be in that river.
And that default,
Yeah, yeah. And so it's been a process for me of stepping out of that river long enough to kind of see it through a different angle and say, okay, I hear all these messages or I feel the shoulds of what success should be. Intentional living for me is let me slow down and get clear on what my definition of success is. How does that work for the people that are so close around me,
To you.
like my village? Do we have a shared definition of success? And then do my actions and my words align to that? And it's a constant process.
She said
it's
constant process. It is.
Yeah, it is not a set it and forget it. It's a daily. But having that definition gives me something to look back at.
I love that. I love your analogy. I love the fact that you use a river for that. Stepping out of a river is never easy because it's flowing.
Right.
And you're trying to step out to go in the other direction or to re-navigate or to just alter something. So that takes a lot of intention. Am I supposed to use the word intention to define intention?
Very meta.
But using a river, that reminds me of how much we have to put on the hat of, hey, remind yourself that this is autopilot. These are the shoulds, and this is what the world expects of me. These are the demands from my environment, but I need to be able to make something different. I need to be able to do something different. On a daily basis, when you wake up in the morning, you get the kids ready and you set them off to school, and then you head into work. As a leadership, you have over 20 years of leadership coaching and people and product management. What do you, over the past 5 years, let's say, what has changed in your ideology to place you where you are?
Ooh, love that question. So much has changed.
So much has changed in the past 5 years, including COVID.
Yeah. I think if you were to watch a movie of the side-by-side comparison, it would be...
I want to watch that.
Very different. I'm not sure if I do. Yeah, I think without having... And I think even in the past, I was connected in some way to my values, to my aspirations. I wouldn't have been able to name it that clearly.
Yes.
And I think 5 years ago, I was feeling the tension between the default I was living, even though there were great parts of that. I was feeling the tension of, between that and I think really what I was craving or called toward living like. And so today, what looks so different in the morning is that I'm there, that I'm present. I would in the past wake up and right away, so many things were coming to my mind that, I needed to answer this person. I needed to respond. It was the pace and it was the to-do list. The moment that my eyes opened started to rev up and then I started to respond to that. And then I would almost have to come back and say, wait, does anyone else need me? Do I have a responsibility to
do I
my
need
kids?
me?
I mean, that honestly didn't even cross my mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we are moving in the right direction. And because for you to be able to coach leaders, for you to be able to coach organizations in this space, you have to, when I was doing my coaching training, they said, you can only coach to the level of your emotional awareness.
Yeah.
So in order for you to take us there, and in order for you to take the organizations and the big corporations that you work with, in order for you to take them there, you should have gone there first. So we're grateful and happy that you are there first and you're taking us along with you. And throughout this journey, you started Forward Movement Studio. Tell us a little bit about Forward Movement Studio and how that came about.
Yes. So exactly what you are saying about needing to take the journey yourself before you can guide others. And that's really what my
Yes.
story was. I loved leadership coaching within the company. But at the moment, really, I could coach them on things happening in the workplace, behaviors, what leadership was, what it wasn't, how they could adjust and shift their behavior. And that was great. It was very effective. I feel like I had some meaningful impact in that environment. And then where I took myself over the past 5 years and where I feel more like I can help guide others and what inspired starting Forward Movement is the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Why? Back to our conversation earlier, what is your definition of success as a leader? Who do you want to be? What impact do you want to make? What does a 10 out of 10 look like for you in your life
individually
across not just work, but all the identities you have? And that's really what creating Forward Movement Studio, I call it a studio because it is creative for me. It was a space of what work do I want to create in the world? And can that be a portfolio? Does that have to be one thing? Or can it be a combination of, just like an artist gathers their life's work and is constantly creating and adding to their portfolio? That's how I see it, where on Tuesdays, I can be coaching leaders. On Wednesdays, I can be with a room of 25 leaders teaching, and there can just be different components to it. I gave myself the freedom to be able to have, and for that to evolve over time. That may look very different 2 years from now, but I think the portfolio will still make sense together.
I love the fact that you do that and then you bring it down and call it art. Leadership as an art. So, and then we break it down and bring it to individuals like myself. And so there's some people who will say, oh, I'm not a leader. I am not a leader. But I always beg to challenge that, because everybody is a leader of yourself. So, and the people that are around you. So you lead yourself and you lead the people around you. So people listening to our audience listening today are thinking, oh, I am not an executive. I'm not a C-suite executive. I'm not a management at a corporation. So Erin is not going to coach me in my style. Let's bring it to our individual daily lives. Leading an intentional life as a leader of your life, being mindful, being present in your life. What have you seen across your work that you can bring to us for daily changes and daily movement as we create our own individual art?
Yes. So it really does come back for me of having a broader definition of your success, because that then allows the daily to be so much simpler. It anchors your why, and it gives you something to measure, because some of what we're talking about, leadership, is inherently intangible, right? Like
Break
at the
that
end
down.
of your night tonight,
Yes.
if you reflected, was I a great leader today? As defined by whom, right?
Yeah.
So if you can, it's the foundation of, what is a great leader to me?
Okay.
Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be with my kids, with my health, with my work? If you can slow down enough to create that foundation, I believe it makes everything easier on the day-to-day. So it allows you to say, I defined leadership to me as, I'll give an example, just if it's presence with your family in the morning,
Yes.
kindness in how you treat the people that work with you at the pharmacy,
I love
and
that.
creativity in stretching beyond what you're working on now.
I might as well just adopt those as my definition of success. Thank you.
Well,
I need to, I'm glad we're recording this so I could just take that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, you didn't have to do a big process to create that.
No.
We had a breakfast and those things just came to mind for me because I see those in how you
and
operate.
they resonate with me so deeply because though first we connected by raising our kids and realized that we have similar philosophies towards parenting. And to me, that is leadership. Because as you lead, you lead yourself, you lead the people around you benefit.
Yes.
And our children, I want you to tell me, what you think your children benefit from you being a leadership coach, and what every parent listening to this can imagine their children benefiting from them being a leader at work, a leader at home, and a leader to themselves.
Oh,
Just bring it down to the children.
yeah, I love it. Well, I'm smiling
Yes.
because I can't help but think. So I have Henry, who's 16, and Julian, who's 14. And I was teaching leadership probably a couple times a month when they were in the womb. And so I
want to know what your children have to say about leadership coaching. Maybe I should have them on the podcast.
I smile sometimes thinking this, there must have been something they're
born leaders,
overhearing and embodying. But I think truly on the daily, what I found to be most impactful is what you said earlier, leading myself.
Yes.
If I am filling my cup to the extent that I can be patient when the moment that they want to share something with me, and I can just put away any device and be there and listen. Or I think it's, how do I lead myself? What do I show them in my brave choices that invites them to take their own brave choices? So it's helped me because I can get in my head about, am I doing the right things? Am I helping them?
Well, you're not the
Am I
only
helping
one.
them
You're
achieve
not
their
special.
potential,
Every
right?
parent gets in their head with that. You're thinking, am I physically spending enough time with the children? Am I intellectually spending enough time with the children? Am I emotionally spending enough time with the children? Spiritually, like every part of it. Am I meeting it? Am I saying and doing? Am I doing and saying? Are the children feeling it? Will they remember? So these are the challenges of leadership that I feel, and I need you to help us, remind us, like, how can we be confident in our leadership as parents?
Yeah.
And as working moms and as non-working moms, like.
Yeah, for me, it's been because like I said, I get in my head, but if I come back to my anchors that I named earlier, and I'll just reflect on it. What have I done for my health and well-being this week? What is a meaningful relationship with a 14 and a 16-year-old look like?
That's a tough one, but that's doable.
Yeah, and understanding that, and this is the process I went through, understanding that, for me right now, a meaningful relationship with Julian is if he's up for doing Legos and he wants a sorting partner, I sort the Legos.
You're welcome.
And I'm right there,
I love it. A sorting partner.
A sorting partner.
Yeah,
and
I
for
love
Henry,
that.
it's if he is up for taking a walk, we take a 10-minute walk together and share that space. So letting it be what it is for us and letting it be simple.
This podcast is sponsored by Journeys, your path to intentional wellness. Most health problems don't start overnight, and neither does wellness. With Journeys, you can take charge of your health before you have to. Every cell in your body is speaking to you. But when we ignore preventive medicine, we wait until those cells are screaming. Journeys helps you listen to the whispers. There are 3 different journeys to choose from, each designed to meet you where you are in your wellness path. The Core Wellness Journey for $199 offers a foundational look at your overall health, perfect for getting started and measuring 66 biomarkers. The Advanced Heart and Metabolic Health Journey for $339 measures 111 biomarkers and goes deeper into cardiovascular, metabolic, and thyroid health for a more detailed picture. The Comprehensive Longevity and Hormone Journey costs $469 and is the most complete view, including hormone, nutrient markers that support energy, balance, and healthy aging. This measures 120 biomarkers. Each journey includes a personalized recommendation, one-on-one care from your pharmacist, and follow-up support to help you turn results into lasting intentional change. You just won't get data. You'll get guidance, accountability, and a partner in your wellness journey. Intentional living means paying attention, staying curious, and taking steps towards the health you deserve. Start your journeys today. Click the link in the show notes. I love the word simple. I love the word. Let it be a simple walk. Let it be a 10-minute walk. It doesn't have to be 5K, and it doesn't have to be a marathon for it to count. So one step at a time, and what meets us where we meet it. And that's how I look at it. I just finished reading the book, which you gifted me. And I have margined it, as Mala says. My daughter, when you write on the margin of a book, she goes, you have margined that book.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing when from the way she says it. When you margin a book, she goes to a book and she goes, if you've read it and you've not margined it, I have suspicions. And that's what she says. So if you've margined a book, I think it means that you have things that you like from it. So, and I'm very grateful that you gave me that book. It really grounded me. And I when I read the book, it reminded me of my pillars. It reminded me why I chose the pillars of intentional living the way I do. So again, the pillars of intentional living, nutrition, movement, inner alignment, and positive social connections. And when I mention these pillars, which of the 4 pillars are you most attracted to?
Alignment.
It's a very alignment. I could answer that question for you. I knew you were going to say that. Tell
How
me
did
why.
you know?
Because I know you.
Oh, yeah. You probably hear it in some of my responses around. For me, that's how it's come together, is that alignment of getting clear on
Yes.
the definition of success, the why,
Mhm.
and then having a creative process to bring that back to what does that look like on the day to day.
Yes.
And then having that structure be the way I can reflect and feel successful, remind myself that I am successful in living an intentional
Yeah.
life, because it's so easy to doubt that, or
It
I
is
do.
on a daily basis. And,
Yeah.
and when you talk about it, I say, when you're full, when alignment is something that you are consciously working towards on a daily basis, when it fills your heart, it has no choice than to flow to the spaces around you. And then that's when those of us around you feel that alignment, because we feel it oozing out of your body. And not that you don't struggle, but we are aligned in struggle. And we, step by step, like the small consistent steps towards that inner alignment, is the journey of a fulfilled life. It's a journey.
Yes.
I love that. And I always love to ask, my guests about an intentional initiative. If our guests always, our audience always like to find out what is, as a leadership coach, as a mom, as a mentor, daughter, advisor, what is something you can leave us with, which we can take small, consistent steps, practical, sustainable, tiny little thing which we can start implementing today
Yeah.
towards our inner alignment?
Yes.
Yes.
So one of my favorites that has emerged in
Mhm.
this journey, I call it a seasonal pause.
Mm.
And
What
I've been
is?
doing it about every quarter. If you think about the business world, or really any organization,
Yeah.
there's a strategy, there's a quarterly review, there are
Always.
all these structures in place to help people toward the aim.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying doing a personal version of that. And
So the seasonal pause.
a seasonal pause is just my own name for it.
Do
But
tell.
what it looks like
Uh-huh.
is the first time you ever do it, and I'm happy to share, I have a little document. It's getting clear on, across these handful of areas of your life, what does a 10 look like? What does success look like to you?
Yes.
And then what would you prioritize in the next season, in the next 3 months, to get from, let's say I feel like I'm a 6 on my health and I want to be at a 10, and I define what a 10 looks like. What are some things that would help me get from a 6 to a 7? And that goes on my calendar. It becomes very real. And then what I'm able to do on the next seasonal pause is just be with that. What are the wins? What am I really proud of? What didn't work? What went backwards? And kind of refresh that same outlook again. And that drives what I focus on, because I really found, and I imagine you have some of this too, in our life right now, with Henry and Julian, the ages they are, Craig and I, the ages are, our parents' ages, every season seems to require something
Something
different.
different, yes.
And it allows me to adjust that
You know,
each time.
you're talking and I'm drifting off and I'm going, oh, seasonal pause. What is it for me? And what is it and I'm trying to adjust I'm in my coaching session right now. I feel like guys, thank you for listening to my coaching session, like intruding and listen. And this is lovely because I feel like I've been doing this without even knowing. I'm glad that you put a name to it. So seasonal pause, putting that number to it and moving. I love how you said, okay, my health is at a 6. And what would it take to get to a 10? But right now, what can I put on my calendar that's going to take me from a 6 to a 7 right now? That's impressive. That is just small, consistent steps.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
love that
Yes.
you're seeing that you are doing it, because sometimes it feels like, oh, this is another process I have to do. Not necessarily. You might, people listening might be surprised, even if that is a moment of reflection as you're driving. It's just the
Yes.
pause part. I think anywhere you can incorporate that. And I love that part of the work that you're doing where, I mean, on a health level, you're truly measuring.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
think it helps people have a tangible, to really
The numbers,
see,
you
where
cannot
am
deny the
I? Where
numbers.
do I
It's,
want to
yeah, with
go?
the
Yeah.
numbers, it's very helpful. I love it. And I think it's always nice because we are in our society right now, we are on the move, on the go, and hurry up and Emlah, but my goal with this podcast is for moments like this. Can we switch? How do we switch from autopilot to aligned? Everybody wants to do that, but how do we do it? Like it's moments like this. It's like a seasonal pause like this, and then making it practical, making it small, consistent step, and then something that is not overwhelming. And I could do this in less than 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then I could reassess. And there's no judge to tell me, hey, Emlah, you're failing. And I'll just keep chugging along. And I'll remember the seasonal pause. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Yeah. Well, this is one of my favorite segments of the podcast, and it is Supplement School with Emlah. No worries, there's no exam. But what supplement is on your mind right now as we speak? The first one, not the second one that you're thinking, oh, should I say that or should I? Nope. What came to mind when I said, what supplement is on your mind?
Yeah, the first one that came to mind, and I don't even know if I'll be saying this correctly, quercetin?
There it is.
think?
Quercetin.
Yes.
Quercetin. Oh my goodness. So since the supplement on Erin's mind right now is quercetin, quercetin is the supplement for the day for Supplement School with Emlah. So quercetin is a plant flavonoid. And these are really, really strong antioxidants which come in. And when I say the word antioxidants, the word gets thrown around a lot these days, but I want you to think of an antioxidant as the cleaning company that you hire to come clean your house, do an ultra cleaning of your house, like once a month or once every 2 months, that they come and do a deep cleaning. And when they come in to clean, they're cleaning out all the free radicals in your home. So always think about it. Think about maybe my son, my 16-year-old and his teammates from soccer. I do a carpool and I carry 16-year-old stinky with cleats and all the turf and in my car. And I come in, my car needs a cleanse. So the antioxidants come in and mop those free radicals, because free radicals are the devil. Free radicals do havoc. They wreak havoc to our immune system, to our health, and they are the bottom line and foundation for chronic diseases. So think of quercetin as a very powerful antioxidant coming from plants, a plant flavonoid. How can you put quercetin on your plate? Apples. At one point in my life, I used to remember people peeling apples before cutting it. But this amount of quercetin in the apple peel, that's where your quercetin is. So if you're peeling the apple, you're losing out on the quercetin that's coming in from your apple. Onions have a lot of quercetin. And quercetin is particularly helpful for people that have allergies, because quercetins are mast cell stabilizers. So think about it from a perspective that, your mast cells are these tiny little cells that line your upper respiratory and your lower respiratory tract. And they're there to protect you. They're there to produce histamines, which tell you you're full and all the good things. But when your mast cells get very excitable and you inhale an allergen, And your mast cell is sitting there minding its business, and you inhale something that you're allergic to. It touches the mast cell bursts open and releases histamines. And then the histamines cause the sneezing, the runny nose, and all these things. But if you have high doses of quercetin, it stabilizes the mast cell. So the mast cell is stable. So when your allergen touches it, it's not going to explode and release too much histamine. So your allergy symptoms are going to be reduced. So it's like healing the allergy from the back. So people that have allergies, symptoms, seasonal allergies, in addition to taking an antihistamine or in place of an antihistamine, quercetin is a foundational supplement for everyone with allergies. And during the fall and winter, my family takes quercetin on a daily basis. We don't take it by itself. We take quercetin in Coimmune because Coimmune has vitamin C, and quercetin has a very strong synergistic relationship with vitamin C. So they work together very well to boost your immune system. So Coimmune has vitamin C, quercetin, N-acetylcysteine, which is also a very strong antioxidant, gets converted to glutathione when it gets into the liver, as well as some vitamin D as well. So all that for the immune system. So everybody has an immune system. So if you want to augment your immune system, a supplement of quercetin will be a solid one to take. Like every fall and winter, my family takes quercetin nonstop until the end of winter. And then those that have seasonal allergies continue it through spring, because as the flowers bud during spring, quercetin comes in handy. So I love quercetin, and it's an unsung hero. And I think there are ways to put quercetin on your plate and add it to your meal.
I want to come to this school every day.
She wants to come to supplement school with Emlah every day, but unfortunately, friends, that is the end of supplement school with Emlah. No exams for you. Thank you. Well, thanks for tuning in, friends. Erin, thank you for spending your morning with us.
Thank you. This is a joy.
I'm so
Come back
happy.
anytime.
I'm so happy that you gifted us with your presence today and with your insights on leadership and how we can lead ourselves from small moments. Because when we say leadership, we think of that big word out there and big corporate leaders. We forget to bring it to ourselves. Thank you for bringing it down into us today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with friends, family, and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and help other people make intentional choices as we continue to take consistent steps in the direction of our dreams. And I hope that the pillars of intentional living are guiding you to make decisions every day as we switch from autopilot to aligned. Be kind to your body.